The Art Beat, a weekly program putting you in touch with artists and arts events from the J.T. and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University. Hello and welcome to this week's Art Beat on KLZK FM 105.7. Good to be with you. I'm your host, Peter Martins, coming from the Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University, and I have the pleasure of speaking today with a colleague from the School of Art, Professor Rob Glover. So, good day to you.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Great to be here with you today. Professor Glover is actually in the head of, I believe, the jewelry and metalsmithing area within the School of Art at Texas Tech.
That's correct.
And I'm guessing that there may be a segment of the audience that didn't really know that we even had a jewelry and metalsmithing area within our School of Art, and I think it's typical in many schools of art, right?
Mm-hmm. I hear that every day.
Interesting. And probably because there's not a lot of areas within the Talkington College where you can go downtown and find a shop that kind of does the sorts of thing, right? I mean, there are jewelers in town.
Right. Well, we're kind of a hybrid. We do art jewelry. We do fine art pieces, which don't necessarily have to be function, but we also do traditional art pieces like the things that you would find in a jewelry store.
Gotcha.
So our people have multiple levels of discipline.
Okay. I suppose it's like a glass maker who could make functional objects like bottles, but also can make like jewelry sculptures or whatever.
Absolutely.
Okay. Interesting. One of the things we want to make sure to talk about during our conversation today is this very long-standing and really well-regarded community-facing aspect of your area within the School of Art, which is this Saturday morning art project, I believe it's called.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So tell us about how that started and what it consists of.
Well, about 40 years ago, Terry Morrow, a very distinguished professor in the School of Art, he was a printmaking faculty, started a program called Saturday Morning Art Project, and it was for gifted and talented high school students who might be uncomfortable coming to the campus or being intimidated by the size and what all goes on in the university.
Sure.
And this was a way of bringing students to our campus and familiarizing them with the campus. And we have a lot of students who don't realize, and parents who don't realize, that there are viable careers in the arts.
Sure.
So I don't believe in poor starving artists. If you're very talented, you don't have to worry. So the trick is find the place that will appreciate your talents.
Okay. All right. So the clientele, so to speak, or the folks that you attract to the Saturday morning project, what's the age range?
Well, they're high school students.
Okay.
And their high school teachers invite them to participate in the Saturday Morning Art Project. It's usually a student who's suggested that they might be interested in a career in art. Okay. And they're a little nervous about that.
Sure.
And I think it also helps the parents to understand careers in art.
Right. As the parent of a high school senior who's looking at college and having been one myself at some point, there's a certain amount of salesmanship that one
yes
might need to engage with.
Absolutely.
To have your average parent understand the options, really.
Mm-hmm. And we try to focus on things that are not necessarily covered in the high school curriculum. We focus on techniques and processes they wouldn't normally have. Also, there are scholarship opportunities. We have people talk to them about careers, and every presenter talks about their career in art. So they'll have a ceramics experience, a jewelry experience, a painting experience, and a printmaking experience, and photography. Okay. And that allows them to see the breadth of some of the things that we do in the School of Art.
Wonderful. So obviously this program runs over several weeks. Is it only in the spring?
It's only in the spring.
Okay. And is every one of these Saturdays a specific, as you were saying, a specific approach to visual art, specific technique?
Yes. One of the faculty in the different disciplines, we have SMAP faculty in the School of Art, and they are contacted and they let me know what their schedules are, and they propose a workshop for the students. Oh, okay. And it's a 3-hour workshop. It's from 9 to 12 on Saturdays.
Interesting. So you're kind of the ringmaster here.
I'm the puppet master.
Excellent. Okay. Wow. So when you see students coming in to this, is it kind of evident like, oh, those two are definitely going to really gravitate toward photography, and these two are more interested in this other thing, or are they just all soaking it all in?
A little bit of both. Another component to our program is that we want to teach an advocacy for the arts. Even if they go into math or science or one of the other disciplines, this program lets them have an appreciation of art, because we know that not everyone's going to be an artist. There may be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever discipline there is, and this lets them appreciate the arts. So it's not just specifically for art students, but I think it helps the community. I think over our 40 years, I think we might have a little something to do with the First Friday.
Sure.
First Friday group of people's coming in and enjoying the arts.
Right. And that's such an important point, I think. I think of this when I teach, especially, younger undergrad students in music, that, you look out at a population and you recognize that maybe half of them will actually make their livelihood in this art form that they're studying. But I actually am almost as interested, in some ways more interested, in teaching the half that won't.
Absolutely.
Because those are the folks that are going to be able to support, hopefully, the ones that are.
I really feel that was part of Mrs. Jones's, Helen DeWitt Jones's thinking process, and Terry Morrow. They were very good friends.
Okay.
And they talked a lot about this program and how important it was.
Interesting. So speaking of programs, in the jewelry and metalsmithing area, you've been at Texas Tech for quite a while.
Over 45 years.
Wow.
35 years. 35 years.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
That's wonderful. I imagine you've had many students come and go, and have students who are doing really interesting things now. Can you tell us about any of your alumni?
Well, our alumni are all across the United States. They're working in all the different disciplines of jewelry design and metalsmithing. We have people at James Avery working as designers and technicians there. I think there's 5 people there, 4 or 5 people. And then we have professors across the United States. We have Mindy Heron Lewis at Tennessee State University. And then we have lots of high school teachers across the board. And they're sending us students. And I think I have my 3rd or 4th generation of students from people that I've taught.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. Then we have some people that work in the industry. We have 2 alumni, Rebecca and Carrie Skinner's her name, and they're working at the GIA, Gemological Institute of America. And they just recently were involved in rewriting the bench curriculum for the entire basically world. GIA serves people from all over the world, and they come there to San Diego and study at the GIA College. And they are very involved in that pursuit.
Okay, so tell us more about this GIA college. It sounds like there's obviously a curricular and instructional component, but is that the basis of it is kind of art education or jewelry education?
Well, no, it's the industry. It's teaching industry standards to people like jewelers in the jewelry stores.
I see. Okay.
And they also are mostly known for their determining the quality of diamonds and stones and appraisals. And then there's a component for bench jewelers where they come and learn stone setting techniques and all the different processes involved in jewelry. And we're very involved in that.
Okay.
That program. Texas Tech is represented.
Nice. So when you say the industry, you're talking about like
James Avery, all the jewelry stores in the mall, all the corporations across the United States, and they are the accrediting standard for those those businesses.
So determining, is the difference between a half carat and a carat
yes,
still the same?
And the quality of the stone. They set the international standard.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm going to ask you some more questions and undoubtedly expose my great ignorance in this area. But one kind of gets the idea that this is all very objective, right? Like there's a certain characteristic of a precious stone that gives it this ranking or whatever, but obviously there's learning and teaching and maybe some subjectivity involved?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can look into a stone and you can count the number of inclusions, you can determine the color of the stone and all of that. It's just like for music in your instance, where if a score is being played properly or not.
Okay. And no 2 people would necessarily agree on that.
Absolutely. But it can be a little objective, yes.
Okay.
But the GIA is this standard for that.
Okay. Fascinating. So our alums are part of that organization.
Yes.
Okay. Why is the U.S. and the GIA, I guess, the kind of the go-to or the
honestly really not sure.
Oh, okay.
They basically set the standard in my lifetime. I mean, they've been around from the beginning. Okay. But if you go to a jewelry store, the standard is GIA, Gemological Institute of America. They'll say that this is a grade A diamond with 3 inclusions, and it has a value of $10,000 or $12,000, and they'll give you the weight and the scale and everything. Okay. So it has nothing to do with art, but it is kind of a component. It's like being an artist. There's the art side, and then there's the business side of being an artist.
Sure.
So I like to think I have one foot in each world. I have a foot in the industry and a foot in the academia. Okay. And I think I try to teach our students that. And I think that's really important. That's one thing we do with SMAP, to let them know that there is math and science and even law involved in art making.
Sure.
As well as all the different, disciplines in the College of Visual and Performing Arts. So that comes as a real surprise to a young 18-year-old. And that's what SMAP is all about. It's teaching, it's scratching the surface of that knowledge that they'll need in the future.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very, I think, helpful perspective, especially maybe in visual arts, that, knowing and dealing with, and in some cases creating your materials, you can't do the art, so to speak, without having that behind it.
Absolutely.
You think of different ways of mixing paint over the centuries.
Right. Well, I try to teach skills that they'll use, and SMAP tries to teach skills that they'll use so that they're never poor starving artists.
Okay, good. So I imagine you have a full array of, forgive me for not knowing the terminology, smelting equipment or whatever you use to actually deal with precious metals. And
we have one of the best studios in the Southwest.
Interesting.
We recently, the last 15 years, we've had a new facility built, and it's been amazing. We have people coming from all over the United States to look at our facility, and we have a high emphasis on health and safety and ventilation, and we try to teach safety and all the things that the students need to know to have a career in art. Okay. One of the silliest ones is trying to keep the studio clean. Because that's kind of the industry standard, and that's just a basic thing that they need to know, as well as stone setting and how to use a loop and all the different tools that we teach them how to use.
Okay, yeah, not a non-trivial skill though, keeping your workspace.
Well,
clean.
If you drop something, you need to be able to find it.
Well, especially if you're dealing with $10,000 stones.
Yeah, our students don't, but that does come around. We've been very fortunate of getting a gift from the James Avery Company. They've actually donated some very beautiful, precious stones to us, and our students get the opportunity to set those stones because of their generous gift.
Oh, wonderful. What a great opportunity. And I think you were mentioning your facility in the 3D annex is what we typically call it on campus, right? The second building, so to speak, of the School of Art.
Yes.
And the ventilation and such is amazing. I remember when I first saw that building, all I could think of was the book that maybe many of us read as a kid, Johnny Tremaine, where he's a silversmith and he has kind of a horrible accident, and we're like, this is not going to happen here, right?
Knock on wood.
Yeah. No breathing fumes and spilling molten things on yourself.
Well, we have the ceramics area is extraordinary, and the sculpture area is extraordinary, and the facilities are just top notch. And that's another great thing about SMAP is the students get to come around and see the facilities and kind of see what the standards are. Okay. In fact, what happens is after they've seen our studios and they go to other schools, they want to come back here.
Excellent. Well, that makes recruiting a little easier.
It does. If we can get a student here to look around, usually they'll come here.
Okay. So coming all the way back around to SMAP then, if we can, it's held in the art annex. You were mentioning
and the School of Art.
And it's
in both buildings. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it only a teacher recommendation that gets a student into it?
Yes. That's a mom or a parent can't just call and say, I want my kid to be in Saturday Morning Art Project. Gotcha. There has to be a SMAP teacher who recommends their child to be in the program. The teachers nominate themselves. We have like a teacher retires. The other teachers commiserate amongst themselves and decide some of the other teachers that they want to invite. And they usually support teachers from outside this local area, because that's one of the things Helen Jones Foundation really encourages us to do, is to reach out to the smaller schools so that they can come and participate in these programs that probably are not offered in their high schools.
Smaller
schools, yes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, what a great model for a town and gown, so to speak.
Well, last Saturday we had 9 teachers participating in the workshop held helping and guiding everything. And they seem to really enjoy coming to the program. And I think it gives them an opportunity to meet and talk about how they're teaching and working and sharing their students and ideas. And it's a really great process. Once the teachers and students get there, I really enjoy it. It's all the prep that I'm not sure, because herding teachers and students are like herding cats.
I see.
Trying to get them to figure out and be on time and get everything
once they're
done.
there and have their sleeves rolled up,
it's extraordinary.
It's
yeah, that's why we do all the work.
Okay. Well, Professor Glover, thank you so much for giving us this rich picture of the Saturday Morning Art Program, or SMAP, and we're so happy that it's been going for so long and has such momentum, and look forward to it heading on down the tracks into the future as well.
We'd like to thank the Helen Jones Foundation for their generous support.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for listening. Thanks for being with us, Professor Glover, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
The Art Beat, a weekly program putting you in touch with artists and arts events from the J.T. and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University.